In part 2 of this series on equipping your new or new-to-you RV, we're going to be talking about your water and sewer systems. Let's get started. As with part 1 of this series on electrical equipment, in this video we'll be talking about some of the must-have water and sewer equipment you'll need on board your new RV before heading out on your first adventure. Some of these tools may come with a dealer starter kit, but many will need to be purchased separately. You'll probably find the RV section at Walmart and Amazon will be your best source for these items. While opinions will vary somewhat, I think most will agree that the items we're about to discuss are must-haves. I'll put links to the items in the video in the description, so don't worry about taking notes. In the middle of this photo is the dump hose. This one is a Camco kit that came with the hose, the elbow, and the dump station pipe adapter. Many places now want you to be able to secure the dump hose in the drain pipe, and the adapter comes with threads for several common sizes of drain pipes. The difference with this set and the one the dealer included in my startup kit was the thickness of the hose itself. Hoses that cost more normally come with more substantial hoses. The piece I did use from my dealer starter kit is not pictured here. It's a transparent extension that is hard plastic and extends about a foot from my coach's drain outlet. I mount the extension and then the hose when dumping. The transparent extension allows me to see when the tank is empty and when the water runs clear when using my tank flush feature on the RV. You'll also find transparent elbows for the sewer end of the hose that serve the same purpose. Between the bend of the hose in the photo is a hose rinsing sprayer that you connect to the hose after dumping. You might consider this a nice to have, but I find it pretty handy. After disconnecting the hose from the RV, I connect this to the RV end of the hose and to my auxiliary hose. I can then run clean water through the dump hose to make sure it's clean as possible and to avoid unnecessary odors. Speaking of my auxiliary hose, it's the orange hose in the photo. I use this hose to connect to the tank flush system and to the hose rinser. I can also use this hose to spray down any spillage at the drain. My freshwater hose is not pictured, but it is white, so there's no chance of confusing the two. Don't use your freshwater hose for anything related to sewage. You don't want to risk making yourself or family sick. Since we're on the sewer topic, let's look at the remaining items related to that. First is the item labeled BioPack in the photo. These little packs go into your black tank through the toilet. I usually start my black tank with about 3 gallons of water and one of these enzyme packs that help dissolve solid waste and reduce odor. There are lots of brands and methods to choose from, but know that you'll need to do something. The yellow bottle is an odor controller for the gray tank. Gray tanks can stink too, so putting a little of this down the drain will help in that regard. The last sewer-related item in the package is the plastic gloves. This item comes with an adhesive strip on the back so you can stick it to a wall in a storage area near your RV's drain. Gloves are an important barrier to keep you from accidentally contaminating yourself with sewage during the dump process. You'll still want to wash your hands and make use of a hand sanitizer, but the gloves will prevent contamination through small cuts in your skin or other breaks in the skin. Let's change focus to your freshwater system. I already mentioned that I use a white freshwater hose. It's just like the orange hose, except it's white. A 25-foot hose will normally be enough, but you may want to consider a second hose for those cases where the water is further away. They're pretty inexpensive. The long package with the blue tube is a water filter. You never really know how clean the water is you're using. I'm sure most parks either use city water or have their well water inspected, but even then you can end up in a place where the water is cloudy or stinky. The water filter helps eliminate some or all of that problem. This inexpensive filter connects the RV either at the water source or at the RV side of the connection. It might depend on how high the site's faucet is off the ground. This is just a small charcoal filter that you'd replace after a couple of trips or at the end of the season. Larger coaches and fifth wheels often use multi-stage filters mounted on the RV itself. A filter like this should be the minimum you consider. The two brass fixtures in the middle of the photo are also important. The one on top is a 90-degree elbow. I find this fitting helps take some of the pressure off of the plastic water connection on my coach. I mount this to the Freshwater connector, and then the short hose that came with the filter connects without a big bow. It just drops straight down on the side of the coach. These come in 45-degree angles too. The second fitting is a pressure regulator. This is just the basic model that I connect to the faucet at the campsite before connecting my hose. This regulator outputs 40 to 50 psi of pressure, which is well within the limits of your RV's plumbing system. More expensive versions of this device include gauges and the ability to adjust the pressure yourself. If your budget can deal with the extra cost, go for it, but don't skip it entirely. Water pressure can vary significantly from park to park, so don't risk connecting to a high-pressure system and blowing out a connector in your RV. This photo shows the elbow in place as well as a little nice-to-have gizmo. It's a little plastic flow meter. It displays the amount of water that has passed through it on a small digital display. This is not a heavy-duty device, so I treat it gently. I use it to monitor how much water I'm putting into the freshwater tank as pictured here. When connected to the white attachment, I can add the 3 gallons to the black tank through the black tank flush system to get ready for the next trip and to have some liquid in the tank for the enzyme package to dissolve in. I think that just about covers the water and sewer basics you'll need to deal with for your new RV. In part 3 of this series, we'll talk about putting together your kitchen. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. If you click on the bell icon, you'll be notified when I post new videos. Thanks for watching and happy camping.